Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Reality Realness with three S's. I'm your host here, Chantel Francis, with my amazing co-host, Tamika Francis. How are you today?
I'm good. I'm good. A little crazy, but I'm good.
You're a little crazy. Uh-oh.
Yeah. Yeah, just work.
People
My
work.
day job. My day job.
Love a day job. I'm like, this is my day job right now.
Yeah.
Well, if this is your first time here on Reality Realness, well, then welcome. We're very happy to have you. So please subscribe right down below over there. We are just trying to build a community of people that enjoy talking about reality TV as much as we do. So today, the hot topic is Love Island UK Season 7, Episode 51. We are almost like doubled the amount of episodes of the US version. Like pretty soon, like in a week, we'll have doubled them. How are you feeling it's going this week, or this episode at least?
um I saw clips yesterday because obviously we didn't watch it live, so I had to wait until this morning to watch the episode, and even then I was like, because I was like, I did not want to be angry. And then, so when I watched the episode, I I I wasn't as angry, so I was okay. But I'm still not pleased.
I'm actually less like I thought I was going to be more angry. I'm less
Right.
angry than I thought I was going to be.
That's how I feel.
Hi, Dan. I actually really enjoyed this episode as well. I thought that it had everything that we needed in the sense that there's a little bit of drama, there's a little bit, I had a little bit of emotions, and there was a talent show. So we kind of got it all this episode. We have Netha here. Hi, Netha. This episode had me heated. Okay, so Netha's more.
See, I think she watched it live. See, I think the trick is not to watch it on the show. I had to come back.
Yeah, I just watched it today as well. I wasn't as heated as I thought I was going to be. I was more heated about seeing the first look than I was at watching the actual episode.
Same.
Hi, Ian. Thanks for joining us. Luna, thanks for being here. Until UK start. Oh, yeah, 4 p.m. Okay, we'll probably be done by that because I don't think the episode was that long. So, hi, Faye, Teddy, Aaron, and Mary can leave Kick Rocks with open-toed shoes. Jessica is not happy here. This may be an unpopular opinion, but I wasn't as mad at those 4 people as I thought I was going to be.
Oh no, I'm mad at them.
You're fully mad. Okay,
yeah, I'm fully mad at them, especially Aaron and Teddy. Faye is Faye, and there was like I think I said yesterday, there was never going to be a way to make this situation something that she would have been okay with unless they lied and not voted for her. But I'm mad at Aaron and Teddy. Mary didn't say anything and just rolled her eyes. She can go away for all I care. But yeah, I'm angry at Teddy and Aaron for a few reasons. Mostly because
you can say these reasons because pretty much the entire episode was about these arguments. So Teddy and Faye pretty much have sussed out who was the ones that voted for them because they were talking with Mary and Aaron, and then also Chloe and Toby. And she knew from Priya saying like, we didn't vote for you. And so that means that the people that were her closest friends in the villa were the ones that actually voted for her. So I actually understand why Faye is upset. Now, we know that Faye isn't great with her delivery and sharing in an appropriate fashion why she feels a certain way. We know that. We used to love that about Faye when she was calling Brad to see you next Tuesday, but now we're not enjoying it when she's kind of saying these things to our favorites. But I understand where Faye's coming from for the fact that for her, she's all about loyalty, right? She's all about people being real with her. She's all about people like having her back because she really does, regardless if we like the how that she does it, she stands up for her people. Whether they're in the wrong or not, she stands up for them. And so I think that she was, for the most part, hurt for the fact that she's been standing up for these people, and she didn't even, she knew that these people had these ups and downs in their relationships, and she still didn't vote for them. So I think she felt as though because she didn't vote for them, that they would have the same reciprocation with not voting for her as well. And so I think she was hurt more deeply on a friendship level, that they never were completely clear with her that like, oh, we don't really think that you guys are good together, but like we just rather you guys get together to keep peace. And instead of like, they kind of bullshitted her, and I think she just felt hurt.
I think that she can't be told anything, right or wrong. When she was telling them right, they're like, she blew them off. When they were telling her wrong, she attacked them. And so, again, like I said, there was no win situation. That being said, she's delusional. She seriously thinks that her and Teddy's situation was the same exact situation as Kaz and Tyler. And I want to understand why that she thinks that. Because according to her, she feels like she attacked Teddy in the same way that Kaz attacked Tyler. And I want to know when that happened.
She never said that it was the same.
That's what she said. She said she feels like the situation was the exact same.
She didn't say exact. She said that like a very similar situation. And I think that what she's drawing the similarities from is doing something at Casa Amor and then coming back to the villa and then getting back together. So I think that
But he didn't do anything. He didn't do anything in Casa Amor, though.
Aaron?
Teddy.
Or Teddy?
Yes, Teddy. He
so,
did not.
The arc though of their relationship is like the photos were what kicked things off. They chose other people. Like they have a very similar timeline to what they were experiencing and what they were going through as couples. Like they both had to work through whatever happened at Casa Amor. So it's not going to be the exact same thing. They're not paint by numbers. Like we're going to do everything exactly the same. But they had a similar, feelings as to what they thought was happening in Casa Amor. So I understand what Faye's saying with like, if you just look at the steps of things, like, okay, we both really liked somebody. They both went over to Casa Amor. They both had sexual feelings towards Clarice. They both came back. Tyler came back alone. Teddy came back with a teddy bear. And then they both were able to mend their relationship. And so
I don't agree. I do not see that that's what happened. Which is why it makes it even worse the way that she thinks that they're in any way similar. Teddy didn't do anything.
I think how Faye felt though was similar to how Kaz felt.
Right. I'm not disregarding what she felt. I'm disregarding how she acted, and in relation to what she then is saying, because we had the same arguments, you didn't. Kaz literally had to watch the man walk in with a girl, and then he came to her, and then she never raised her voice at him. She didn't call him names. She said to him, this is what I needed from you. This is what you did not give to me. This is what you should do. Otherwise, we're done. And that was it. Faye took everything and blew it out of proportion.
Sure. The how Faye addressed Teddy is very different from how Kaz addressed Tyler. I'm not disagreeing with that, but I feel though what Faye is thinking is that we were both just confronting our partners in our own way, and so the fact that you are agreeing that because Faye blew it up means that she wasn't feeling in a similar way to how Kaz was feeling, or they didn't have a similar situation that was just dealt with in a different manner. I do understand why Faye feels as though there's similarities in what they had been experiencing in the villa with their partners, and how their experiences have been kind of in alignment.
But that is also why when everybody was trying to tell her their reasoning for making that choice, she was blowing off those reasons. Millie and Liam told her, we said that because even after that you were still saying you guys were incompatible. And then Kaz and Tyler were saying, Yeah, but even after that, you both were saying, he was saying to me and she was saying to the girls that you guys were incompatible. So we're not saying that you're totally not compatible. What we're saying is, based on your own words, you guys were incompatible the least.
I think that, why Faye wasn't able to hear this is because it seems to her like everybody else was voting on friendship and that she wasn't being considered as a friend. They were using the things that she said for a reason for them to be able to vote for her, and that other people weren't being held to the same kind of accountability. I know that
Right.
she stopped.
That she said the next day, right? So that I can understand her being hurt. What my issue was is that she's comparing herself to Liberty and Jake and Kaz and Tyler to each other. So you understand what I'm saying? So she's saying Liberty and Jake,
Liam and Millie.
your relationship is not as strong as my relationship with Teddy, right? And so there's no reason for Kaz and Tyler to have voted for us. And she's saying, Kaz and Tyler, my my relationship is at the same pace as you guys were. So there's no reason for Liberty and Jake to have not voted for you guys and voted for us. But my whole thing with Kaz and Tyler,
I don't think any of them should have voted for any of them. I think that she was surprised that Priya didn't get some of these votes when she feels as though they all have been talking and commiserating with each other and like going through, and Faye's giving support here and saying like, yes, go get your guy back, and like, she definitely was a cheerleader for both Millie and all of them, Liberty and Kaz. And so I think that because she was giving them like, I know that they were working through something, so I'm not going to judge their relationship on what they went through. I feel it because she wasn't doing that. She just expected other people to be having that same perspective and was hurt by the fact that her closest friends in the villa, who she's known since day one, felt as though even though they had come back together and they worked on it, that it still wasn't enough for them to think that they were headed in the right direction.
I don't think that that's what they were thinking. I think if she sat down and actually listened to Kaz and Tyler and Liberty and Jake like she listened to Millie and Liam, that she would understand why they did what they did. But she's going on it based on that it was just a friendship thing. And my whole thing is Kaz did not think that there was an issue in Liberty and Jake's relationship until a couple of days ago when the audience started being polled and said that he's one-sided. And so when Kaz went to everybody else, all the girls said, yes, I believe that. And when Kaz went to the boys was like, no, he's genuine, trust us, including Teddy. So my whole thing is you are expecting her to throw out what she's been witnessing and being told by both of you, because that's all she said. She said when Aaron and Mary have conversations, Mary talks about him, he don't even mention Mary. When she said we did not do this on a friendship level. And she went through each. I just feel like nobody was willing to hear them out, but they were willing to hear out everybody else in the villa.
Well, this is the thing though. Like, I know that you're very supportive of Kaz and how she responded, but from just an observer's point of view, mine, I felt as though Kaz kind of came across a little bit defensive, and I think that was why Faye wasn't able to hear her. With how, we'll just say Millie, for example, she was a little bit apologetic and Faye and Kaz's apologeticness was like, well, I'm sorry that you didn't feel that way. And that doesn't feel like an apology to somebody that's really hurt. So I think that that's why, even if they're saying the same things, it wasn't landing with Faye. It was just both Tyler and Kaz, I felt it had an air of, we didn't do anything wrong, when I think Faye just really wanted them to say like, of course we love you. I'm so sorry that you felt this way. Like, that's completely misconstruing what we were actually.
But that's why I'm saying my issue is less with Faye, because I think they would have gotten there. But then instead, Teddy comes over and sits down and starts biting Kaz's head off, which is what threw it up. Because like I said yesterday, and like Kaz and Tyler said, if they had the information that Priya and Brett were not compatible, they would have voted differently. Whether they would have voted Aaron and Mary more compatible or Faye and Teddy more compatible, that's on them. I don't know, but I know that I believe that they would have voted differently had that been information that they had, but they didn't have that information. And I think she was trying to explain that, but then Teddy, for some reason out of nowhere, is gonna keep biting her head off when she's trying to explain the decision that they were making. And my whole thing is, I don't appreciate a black man insistent on biting off the head of a black woman every chance that he can get, but and saying, oh, I don't care how Kaz feels, every chance that he could get. But anytime he's attacked by Faye or has a problem with Faye, he takes it on the chin and doesn't say anything. It's not right on television.
I didn't really notice the Teddy thing. I'd have to maybe go back and rewatch it, because we didn't see Kaz's reaction. So it seemed as though she leaned back and she rolled her eyes. And I think that the dismissiveness, because I don't think that Teddy was coming there as aggressive or anything like that. I think that from my perspective, it seemed like he wanted to just speak his truth, and he does end up speaking his truth a little bit later with the guys, and they were able to come to an understanding of why he was feeling this way. So I mean, maybe he gets triggered by somebody rolling their eyes at them, you know what I mean? And yeah, it sucks that he didn't seem to get triggered by Faye, which he did. But in that moment, I wasn't specifically mad at Teddy. It didn't seem like it came out of nowhere. Was there other instances where he said anything? Because I only noticed the eye roll thing.
No, she was leaning back, and so she was leaning back. So I didn't notice if she rolled her eyes, because as far as I saw, she was leaning back, and then he's like, why are you nodding your head? And she's like, I wasn't saying anything. I'm listening to you. So that is why I was saying I don't understand the bite, come over there to do what, to bite off her head so that they're not allowed to explain. My whole thing is, no matter what they would have said to Faye, I understand Faye was never going to take whatever they said, whether they said it was because you said something or if they said it's because we think you're crazy. So Faye, I have not as much of a problem with, but Teddy should not have come over there and made the situation even worse, in my opinion.
Nessa says that she wasn't mad at Teddy as she thought, but Aaron is another story. So Teddy, I didn't really find how Faye and Teddy approached the situation I thought it was going to be a lot more of a kickoff. I didn't really, it wasn't as bad as I was anticipating it, but it could be because I'm desensitized from the fight with Teddy. And so then after, who came over? So Tyler and Kaz, who went over to talk to Liberty and Jake next?
Oh, Chloe and Toby to apologize for no reason. That was dumb.
Well, I mean, they Liberty and Jake should know. One thing though, okay, so what did you agree with the fact that Jake, with Faye coming for Jake a little bit?
No, I actually was agreeing with Jake. I said Faye needs to grow up. He's sitting in there. It's like, she needs to grow up. And then he said, Faye needs to grow up. I was like, damn her for making me agree with Jake on the damn show.
He didn't agree with Jake. Well, I mean, Jake, though, I think that his face goes red when he's lying. Mm-hmm. And I feel that he was he knows that he's actually deserving of being voted least compatible. He knows that. And I felt as though he was super thrilled at the fact that he could come for Faye now again, because it's going to take the heat off of Jake again. And so I felt that I'm just I guess I'm so much not a fan of Jake that I can't stand a word that comes out of his mouth. That confessional that he has, I wanted to punch him, because I just
yeah, I agreed with him. I said because I've been saying this entire time, she needs to grow up. She needs to mature. She has a problem. So his words were true. Whether he's a genuine person or not, that's on him. But the words were correct.
Well, no matter what, though, I feel like Faye was coming from a place of hurt because these are her closest friends and they voted for her, and she would have never done the same. And it's
I understand, and as a person who values loyalty and values friendship, I understand hurt. I do not and I will not be okay with anybody, especially a white woman, being okay with attacking everybody left and right because she feels like somebody was this or that to her, because it's not fair. Like, it's not right to attack people because you are emotional. You are having a problem inside. You can't listen to hear what people are trying to say to you, and so that means that they can no longer come to you with the truth. Because if they could come to her with the truth, I think they would have told her the truth. Because as far as Tyler has said, he said he told Teddy multiple times that he needed to leave her alone. He said, what would you do if this was outside of this situation? And Teddy said, I told you I would be done. He's like, so I'm taking your word of what you said, but you kept saying, no, I want to be with her. And so what am I supposed to do? Tell you no, not to be with her? If she's the person you want to be with, that's fine. But I also feels like outside of this, that makes you one of the least compatible, and I don't disagree with them.
Well, one of the questions that I have, though, just about like their judgment. I know that they shouldn't be afraid of like who they vote for, and if they're just voting like seriously and from their heart. But like, they also knew that she was going to react this way. So like, I don't know why they're surprised.
I don't think they were surprised. I think they because even Millie and Liam weren't surprised. They knew that they were coming.
What do you mean? How did she figure it out? What do you mean?
No, that's the part that they were trying to figure out how she figure it out. And then Millie went and threw Kaz and Tyler under the bus. But what I think that they were surprised at was her not allowing them to explain why they voted that way and they're like, this, we had to vote for somebody. This is our opinion. It had to be two couples. And I agree with them. Who were they supposed to vote for? Themselves?
I would have voted for Priya. Sorry.
I based on everything that, like I said, based on everything, I would not have voted for Priya and Brett before knowing.
And Aaron, no matter.
No, I would not have. I would definitely have not voted for Priya and Brett over Faye and Teddy.
I would have voted
based on not knowing what was happening at the dinner. I would not have voted for Priya and Brett.
No, I would have voted for Priya and Brett and Mary and Aaron for the fact that they haven't had to overcome anything, that they're newest to the villa, that they don't know each other at all at this point. I would have voted for those two couples no matter what.
Okay, yeah, no, not me. I would not have. I would have, based on the way that they were going, I would have thought that Priya and Brett were more compatible, pretty much.
I mean, I didn't really find them that compatible in general, right. But it's because I don't really like either of them. But right. I would have voted for the newest couples that got together because it would be understandable as to why you're voting for them. To me, it just looks like I would be hurt. And it would affect my friendship with these people, even if they're saying that it's not personal and like all the reasons that they've laid out, I still would be hurt, and it would affect my friendship with these people personally.
Yeah. Well, at this point, I hope none of these people are friends, because I would not want these people to be my friend personally.
Brutal. None of them, not even Kaz.
If I was Kaz, if I was in Kaz's position, I wouldn't want to be friends with any of these people outside of this place.
Even Liberty?
If she's with Jake, I don't know about all that.
Yeah, I wouldn't be with Jake. I think that's also was what Faye was upset about, and I know, like, I understand, like, that how she's yelling at people is uncomfortable and like it's inappropriate, all that. But I think that when they're using the argument that it's the least compatible couples, and Kaz, I know that Kaz and Liberty are best friends. It's the fact that you're saying that it wasn't because you're best friends and that you're doing it because of compatibility, but then somebody that we know are having compatibility issues, who is your best friend, you didn't vote for them. So it's just a hole in their rationale. I would have, if I was Kaz, there was no way that I would be voting for Liberty no matter what they went through. But I think that Faye was hoping to have that same you know, relationship with them. And so that's also, I think, where she was hurt, even by their rationale and them explaining, because it's like they're saying that they're not doing it by friendship, but if they were doing it by friendship, then why wouldn't they have voted Liberty and Jake? So I understand where she's coming from, but I
But
get.
that's why I'm saying if she had listened, Kaz and Tyler did not think that Liberty and Jake had a problem up until 2 days ago. And most of that problem that was brought to them was by Faye and Chloe. And even then,
Well, what about the public vote, the
and
polls?
that was even after the public vote. Like, she had a conversation with Tyler, and she was like, "Do you think he's disingenuous?" And he was like, "No, no, I think he's really genuine." And then he brought it back to the guys. And then after Faye and Chloe were talking to her, she was like to the guys, "Do you think that he's not genuine?" And all the guys, Toby, Teddy, all of them said to her, Aaron, all said to her, "No, he's genuine." So from my perspective, Kaz is being true to what she said. I don't think she saw a problem with him until a couple days ago. And even then, when she was asking other people, so like, what is this about? What is coming? What am I not seeing? They're all saying, "No, no, you're seeing it right. It's whatever else the other people are seeing." So I don't know about Liberty, whether she, voted for Kaz and Tyler because but I feel like that's been Kaz's thing the entire time. She said, because even with the Aaron and Mary thing, she said when Liberty comes to her, she talks about Jake. When Jake comes to her, he talks about Liberty. She said when Mary comes to her, she talks about Aaron, but when Aaron comes to her, they don't talk about his relationship at all. So she does not know how he feels about her, and that she would think that if he was really into her, he would talk about her more. And that was her opinion on the situation. Whether that's wrong, I don't know, because that's an opinion. That's what they were asked.
No, I think that like it's easy, and it makes a lot of sense for Aaron and Mary to be, voted low. Like they just got together, and so I think though with that they thought that they had a closer relationship with them than Priya and Brett, in order for them to be wanting to see advancements in their relationship. Like, would they have been happy if like they had been voted off directly? You know what I mean? And so
Yeah, but that's them thinking that they have a shot at 50K. Like, does Aaron and Mary have a shot at 50K? Is that what we're saying here? That they were strategic because Aaron and Mary have more of a shot than
I think
Leah and
maybe
Brett?
Joe and Teddy, because if people come back around on them, I think that they could be someone that could rival them for the money. I think that right now Millie and Liam though are like leaps and bounds ahead. But so they get some of the Faye and Teddy votes if they were to get rid of them. But anyway, that's besides the point. Who cares? Also, Faye, she was more hurt by Millie than the others, which makes me think that she's not even really friends with Kaz and Liberty. That's true too, possibly. Like she maybe was like didn't realize that they weren't as close as they thought, and so this was just kind of like a rude awakening. It's like, oh, like I have more respect for our friendship, and I voted more so on friendship than actually the situation, and you guys voted more on the situation than friendship with me. And so like, it would just be something that I would learn if I was Faye, and I'd be like, okay, I'll keep you at a distance from this point forward, and that's how I would deal with it. Okay, so she does not make it easy for people to share their opinions. True. She takes one things and run with it. And nobody said that she's not compatible with them. She needs to learn comprehension skills. That's not true though, because what she was saying the whole time is that she just felt that the actions of these people by doing this was just showing her that they weren't being genuine with her, like with their interactions and with them wanting them to get back together, but because of the way that they voted here, and that she was just shocked that she didn't know that everybody didn't think that they were compatible, or the least or less compatible than Priya and Brett, who have been together for 24 hours. Like, Cousin Tyler never said that they were not compatible. Faye has said repeatedly that her and Teddy are not compatible. Faye said that the reasons Lib gave were the same as Kyler, and that's not true. I don't remember the difference of those two combinations. after the first look today, I'll see how she is with Millie. I just can't stand her hypocrisy against Kaz and Liberty. I think though that comes in because Kaz and Liberty are best friends, and so like
Again, like I'm fine with it. Like if she's the way she acts after the first look, where she was just like deading the after what she said, she just deaded the Liberty situation. Um, it is what it is. That's why I'm saying that, ultimately it might be in all of their best interest not to be friends with her past this show. So
Faye.
Faye, yes, because she goes then after what she said yesterday and attacks Liberty in the first look, saying that she didn't want to talk to her, they're not friends, and it's all over. So I don't know what leads up to that conversation, but again, if it's still based on what happened the day before, then there's no reason for, if Liberty is trying and she doesn't want to be her friend, there's no reason for Liberty to try to be her friend in this situation. She should just move on.
Yeah, I can see them moving on, and like this, them realizing that they're all not compatible. Like absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't seen the first look yet, but I'm assuming that the reason why maybe they get into something, it's going to be over Jake, and I think it's going to be kind of like a Kira Will situation.
Mhm.
Shannon kind of popping off. Like I think it might be in that kind of regards. Is that like maybe Liberty goes and be like, I don't appreciate how you're speaking to Jake.
No,
Like,
that's not what happened. She was standing in the kitchen and she said hi to her, and she absolutely shut her down. She
okay.
said they are not friends. She doesn't want nothing to do with her. Blah blah blah. So what I'm saying is, I don't know if there's a situation that leads up, because obviously this is the next day. It might even be the next evening. So we ended in the night here. I don't know if something happened during the day or after this conversation that she does that. But if that's what she does, then again, this is Faye's MO. She likes to sabotage any relationship. She came out of it and said that she was okay with Liberty. If she wants to sabotage her relationship with Liberty, it is what it is. Liberty needs to move on.
Yeah, I think the Liberty will. She's
Yeah.
the one that holds on to things. She gets
Yeah.
over things really easily, but I
Yeah,
can
she took it. She seemed to take it fine. She's like, okay, if that's what you want to do, and she walked away. But I just,
So Faye has a problem with Kaz and Liberty and said that they voted that way. They did for friendship, but then said to Millie that she's hurt because she didn't vote according to their friendship. Well, Millie, she was hurt, I would say, but for the most part because she's gone to Millie for advice, and so it's a little bit of a conflict of interest. I can understand being hurt, being like, oh my god, we're working through my relationship, but then at the same time you're judging my relationship and judging it poorly. So I can see the differences there. Dan's entertained by our debate. Oh no, he changed it to arguing. He's like, y'all
arguing. We're arguing.
Liberty said that part of the way that she voted was because of the fight with Faye and Teddy. Then Faye said, well, Kaz and Tyler's situation was the same. That's when she compared her and Kaz's behavior. Okay, hi, AH said. Thanks for joining us. Okay, honestly, I'm on a Faye's side. Uh-oh. Tamika's coming. In terms of the girls being fake, because like if I'm your friend and I think that you're not compatible with somebody, I won't encourage you guys to get together and not tell you beforehand my concerns. For instance, she had told Liberty beforehand about her concerns about Liberty's relationship.
Yeah, I think all of that is true. I think that would have been the case, except for that they were the ones telling her, "No, I think you guys are really well matched and really good." Didn't she say that Cass told her not to be stupid? And then she goes and kept telling them, "No, we're not compatible. We don't like this. We don't do that. He's a terrible dresser." I don't know what people are supposed to do, and when you're insistent you guys are not compatible, and then the question is, who's the least compatible? Well, by her own admission, y'all are the least compatible. I don't know what somebody's supposed to do with that information.
I still would not have voted her in the bottom though. I mean, I just wouldn't have. If I was friends with her, it's just wouldn't have. Okay, so the girls were being fake. AH says because they didn't tell her beforehand. She felt blindsided by them. I agree with you. Kaz just answered the question, and they did not like her answer, so that's not her problem.
It isn't. It really isn't.
Thanks for being here. Millie was apologetic because she's terrified of Faye. I mean,
it really is. Her and Chloe. Like, Chloe was like, oh, that Faye's talent was really good. I said, so abusive comedy is really good because I'm pretty sure if she goes out on the circuit, people are going to ask for their money back.
It was supposed to be a roast. She wasn't very good at the roast, which is funny.
Nobody was laughing.
It was just like cringe. So Faye was trying, though. I still feel for Faye. I know that you don't really have any love for Faye, but I do.
This is my thing. I could feel for Faye, but I don't see anything happening in here. Like, let's take Trina first, for example. I feel like Trina was very insecure. I feel like Trina did certain things to like Cash and Cinco that would have sabotaged their relationship coming out of the villa, right? And if I had not seen her work on herself through the entire journey, allowing people to tell her what they felt, like when Cash came to her and said, you did this and that made me feel this way. And when she was able to go to Cash and said, you did this and that made me feel this way. And they could keep going. I can appreciate that because that means that you are allowing yourself to grow in this experience. I am not seeing that from Faye, which is why I can't support her in this situation. Maybe if when she comes out of the villa, then I see that she's growing and learning and taking the experience that she got and uses it to make her a better person. I can support her going through the future, but right now I'm not seeing that she's ever going to be able to do that in this experience, which is why I can't feel sorry for her, right?
I do still. I have a soft spot for Faye.
Yeah.
Because I've met many Fays in my life, and they just want a hug. So Ms. Love, I get that Faye being hurt, and it's okay for her to say that. I just think that she shouldn't expect anyone to have to explain themselves when everyone had to vote for someone and other couples got votes. I agree, Ms. Love, but I guess where I understand Faye is that she just learned something that she didn't expect from her closest people. And I think that it was the shock of, wow, the people that I didn't vote for, who I thought were my closest friends in here, or that I've at least been on this journey with since day one, with being Liberty and Kaz, and then Millie a little bit later. Like, I think that she was just a little bit blindsided by them being the ones that voted for her. So I think that's the only reason why she was going around and, like asking for people to explain their votes, was was really surprised and hurt and didn't do, like, not even only that she wouldn't do that to them, she didn't do that to them. And I think moving forward, I don't know how this fight with Liberty happens, but like, I think she's deciding that from these actions, you guys can't be my friends. Like, you're not my friends. You don't care about me. And that's probably what I would assume as well. And maybe that's what's the beginning of whatever happens with her and Liberty. It's just like, oh, we obviously aren't friends because she didn't treat her friends how they treated her. They did nothing wrong. They had to vote for two couples. Faye needs to grow up.
I just saw somebody spitting facts. I can't say anything additional.
Faye wants yes men. She exposes the answer, and when she wasn't getting it, wouldn't listen any longer.
Faye's a producer at this point.
Millie is scared of Faye, so she'll just apologize.
Yeah, based on yesterday, Faye, it's you can see who is afraid of Faye the most and who isn't.
Yeah, Millie was terrified.
yeah. Millie was terrified. Chloe was terrified. Aaron sat there. Oh, I voted for you guys because you guys have not had an argument. Oh, okay. Kaz and Tyler, I'm gonna go and attack you. I'm like, are you kidding me? That you took that? That was the answer that was okay? okay. But when Kaz is saying to you, well, it just based on our conversations, it felt like a one-sided thing going on here. You're angry at her on her opinion. Okay.
So Nathan says Cassius moved back and he asked why was she shaking her head. She didn't roll her eyes. The issue is if it had been Faye, he wouldn't have said anything. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that was my issue with Teddy. He did apologize.
Teddy has said that class is called. When did he say that?
He said it when everything was happening with Tyler. That's what I'm saying.
Oh,
like
he said that you showed up with somebody like that.
Yeah.
I didn't like that he said that. That was pissing me off. Hi Liz, thanks for joining us. That cancer energy was all over the villa yesterday. Who are the cancers then? Do we know, Liz? I don't know if anybody's cancer. Faye is fire. It has to be. I have it written in one of my books. Everybody's sign. Is it this? Oh, it might be this book. I believe Faye is like an Aries.
Oh, that makes sense. Lord Jesus, that makes sense.
I don't know where I wrote it down though. I have so many books. Like,
hold on, I think I have.
It's on the Love Island wiki. Everybody's ages.
Jake Aries.
Faye is Aries.
Jake is an Aries. Kaz, we know Kaz is a Scorpio. Tyler's a Taurus. Toby's a Pisces. Chloe's a Libra.
Millie's a Sagittarius.
Faye is a Cancer. Faye's a Cancer. Faye's a Cancer? I need to see the rest of her chart.
I need to see the rest of her chart as well.
Oh, she's a Gemini Cancer cusp.
Oh, she's the 22nd?
She's probably way more Gemini than she is Cancer, because that is not
why I vibe with her more, because I'm Aquarius, right? So I understand air signs more than I understand
Leo,
water. And
Liam's a Leo. Millie is a Sag. Who else did I miss? I don't have the later couple.
What's weird is Hugo was a Leo. What?
Ugh.
Okay, so she must be so she's on the cusp, and she must be the 22nd of June.
Oh, somebody has their full chart. Hold on. Faye, Gemini Sun. So this person is saying she's a Gemini.
What does it say? The actual date? Or
what? No, they're not saying the actual date.
Is it a pie chart? Does it have the degrees?
No, it just has the general. So Gemini Sun, Aries Moon, Gemini Mercury, Gemini Venus, Virgo Mars. And she said she's guessing Sagittarius Capricorn rising.
So I think whenever I see anybody with an Aries moon, that usually is a defiant energy. So the moon talks about people's emotions and how they can be comforted in emotional situations. And so Aries, that is fire, that is the art of, that's the war sign. The war god is Aries, and it's always ready to fight. Their back is always up against the wall. And so to protect their emotional life, they use war. They choose violence intentionally. And so that actually explains Faye, how she manages her emotion is through fire, through fighting. And she doesn't have that's how she deals with her emotions. But with her being an air sign, she's not actually emotional. So she can't see that she is hurting. She only knows how to protect herself and to fight. So
June 21st.
Okay,
June 21st.
Still Gemini.
Yeah.
But like 29 degrees Gemini, which is also a hard placement too. Anything 29 degrees, it means that like you're kind of you're shedding the old life and stepping into the new life. And definitely it's that cross to bear going from air to water is challenging, I would say. So I understand Faye even more. So Liz, she's actually a Gemini Cancer cusp, but I think it's her moon in Aries that makes her so combative and so emotionally confrontational. That's what I think. Ariane agrees with you 100%.
My best friend's a Gemini, so I know all about dealing with Gemini.
I'm usually fine with dealing with them.
Mm-hmm.
They were fed up, but they were not surprised. Fair.
Yeah, I don't think they were.
At the end of the day, the 4 couples were in the bottom. Said with what is the big deal? Faye and Teddy are delusional. If they think they shouldn't be in the bottom. I don't know if they did. It's not that they think they should have been in the bottom. They just didn't expect their friends to put them there. And they were hurt. They were hurt. And they're not great at expressing themselves and like working through it. Voting for Mary and Aaron and Brett and Priya is a cop-out. I think people were in defense because they knew Faye was going to be confrontational, and judging by her history, they were on guard. Yeah, I agree. Faye Underground, thanks for joining. So there's a little bit too much understanding for Faye if she has that much trauma that warrants her to constantly blow up. She needs to be off the show to sort that out. Sure, you can take her off the show. Amaka says, I agree with Tamika. I wouldn't have voted for Priya either. Compatibility means share similar values and ideas, which I saw with Priya and Brett. Faye and Teddy on the other hand, Faye and Teddy on the other hand, not as compatible.
Yeah, that's how I was looking at it.
When I realized what I realized is that a lot of people see themselves in Faye. They've either been her or will likely act like her, hence why they defend her like that. I have come across a number of Fays.
Somebody tweeted that to me earlier this morning when I was live tweeting while I was watching, and they said it's obvious that the reason why people like her so much is because they see themselves as her, and I definitely got that.
I've definitely seen people like Faye. I've reacted, 20 years ago, but like I've reacted like Faye before, for sure.
I've reacted like Faye before, which is why I'm telling you what I'm saying to you. But this is 20-year-old me versus 26-year-old me. The way I would have acted at 26 is not the way that I would act now, which is why I'm speaking from experience.
Ariana, you thought that Priya and Brett were a match made in
I agree. They were a match made in Priya idiocy heaven, and so then she sat there and blew it up. And now that both men know that she likes Boris Johnson, neither one of them want her. Not Matt or Brett. Hilarious.
This is interesting. Oh well, it's a debate, like something to talk about. So Netha says that she claimed that she loved Liberty and yet was having a go at her. I agree that she will be doing them a favor if she chooses not to be friends with them.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Yeah, I think that Faye learned that people that she thought were her friends were just maybe scared to say something to her. They didn't actually think of her as a friend. And so I think that she'll probably just be like, all right, we don't need to do this anymore. I don't think that they were saying that they're not compatible, but fell into least compatible category.
Exactly.
Hi, Sam. Thanks for joining. Oh, and hi, Annette. I think that's the first time you had a comment here. This episode made me dislike Teddy. Keep the same energy for your white girl like you do the black women. This applies to Aaron as well.
Agreed. That was my entire thing. I did not like it.
Like that. Like I'll watch it again though, just because when I was watching it, I was just kind of like, oh, is this what everybody was like? What I was even upset about? Like I didn't see it in the full version. It didn't seem as bad, but I will go back and rewatch it.
Well, I mean, it's obvious that Kaz didn't take it that way, right? Because she didn't act. She said, she's okay with Teddy, but Aaron absolutely has to give me an apology. That is what she was looking for the next day. So, but as a viewer, a black woman who's a viewer of TV, based on what I've seen from the entire show, this is my perspective.
Dad, it's funny how Chloe and Toby are not in the drama anymore.
Oh, they are so in the drama. They're so in the drama. You don't see that they're sitting there back there being little puppeteers and nodding at everybody. They're just staying back from Hurricane Faye. They are the ones that are being strategic about this entire thing.
Well, I mean,
But
they
that's the show.
Not to vote Faye and Teddy.
Yeah. They're like, I didn't vote for you.
Yeah, maybe that's why I wouldn't vote for Faye and Teddy, because I wouldn't want that smoke.
Yeah.
But Sasha, if I did vote for Faye and Teddy, I think I would be able to handle them. I don't know. I personally don't think I'd be scared of Faye, but then I'm also way older than she is. So
yeah.
I would, and I also wouldn't let Faye speak to me the way that she speaks to any of those people. Like that's
right.
Not the case.
But you notice she didn't speak to Kaz, and that's what I'm saying. I don't think there was that much of a problem, because she's like, well, I know you guys voted for us, and Kaz is like, okay, well, this is why, and I don't think that there was a problem. And even the next morning, she's like, again, it was because of what you said, and that was it. No raised voice, no attitude in the whole thing. The only time she had an attitude with them was because Teddy came at her, and that was it. But again, it was the entire, with Kaz and Ty, it was the entire Mary and Aaron thing.
Yeah. So okay. So what? I didn't really feel like, because I thought that Mary and Aaron should have been in the bottom. I didn't really understand why they were mad at them. Like, just because they thought that Priya and Brett should have been in the bottom over them if they were going to choose them. But like, I felt like no matter what, Mary and Aaron should have been in the bottom with Priya and Aaron. So I just was like, so you think that it was fine that Faye and Teddy were in the bottom and that you shouldn't have been? Like, I didn't understand their argument.
Their whole thing was, somebody's voted for us. I said, somebody? Y'all got 3 votes. 3 somebodies voted for y'all. I don't understand why y'all are mad at this one somebody. Now, it's possible they felt the same way, that, oh, that they're friends. And I'm like, even still, even if you were thinking you should have gone with friendship, there's a whole line of friends before you in the villa. So, and they voted one of their closest friends as with you guys. So why are you mad at Kaz and Tyler? Like, I my whole thing was, Mary and Aaron should not have been offended by Kaz and Tyler.
By anybody.
At all. But, or anybody, but at least, like, it'd be different if they voted Aaron and Mary and like Chloe and Toby. Like, I can maybe understand, but they voted you with one person, with a couple that they said are supposed to be their really good friends in the villa. Why are you offended? That means that they had a reasoning for it. You're talking about strategic vote. Strategic how? You really think you were going to get 50K? That's what you think? I mean, he might think that. He's a footballer. He must think he has a whole popularity. But I'm sorry to say, dude, the only reason why people voted you to stay in was because nobody liked Priya and Brett.
True. I was like, when they were like, oh, like it was Kaz and Tyler, like they were just choosing a reason to go up and come at them, because I was like, there was no reason. Like, we know that like we're kind of like going back and forth with the Faye thing. Like, I hear where you're coming from, and like I just kind of, and I hear where Faye's coming from, but like I can agree to like kind of disagree, but agree at the same time. But with this one, with him walking over as like, there's no reason for, like, I think that you should be in the bottom, and you should know that you should be in the bottom, and you don't have long enough friendships for you to be offended by these people putting you in the bottom.
I said 2 days ago, people thought that Mary was jumping ship to Jake. So I'm confused. When he came in for Chloe a couple of days ago, and was sitting there talking about he's putting all his eggs in Chloe's basket, and talking about all these things for the future with him and Chloe. And then he's with Mary now. I don't understand. I will never understand the energy that Aaron brought and Mary brought to the entire thing, talking about, oh, they made up something. What do you mean they made up something? There was nothing to make up. Nothing happened with y'all yet.
The only thing that was made up is the fact that they were angry. Like, that's what was been made up in this situation. So Underground says, I know plenty of people who don't seem compatible who have had happy long marriages. I think it's hurting her so much because she internally feels they won't work, or she feels that they aren't good enough. Like, I do agree for sure. Like, not good enough.
I think that's the problem.
He's too good for her. That I guess like she wants any excuse and any reason to get out of this relationship with somebody that she thinks is better than her. Yeah. And so
And that's probably why she keeps saying, oh no, we're not going to work because this and this, so that people can come to her and say, no, you guys will work because of this and this. She's looking for that validation.
Yeah.
But what she doesn't understand is what she's doing is undermining her relationship, so that her closest friends feel like that they should vote this way because they don't understand how it is going to work for them when they come out of the villa.
Absolutely. Like, I mean, I think that if Faye didn't want people to have this perspective of their relationship, she definitely should have been talking more favorably about their relationship.
And more favorably about Teddy, because she says some things that are just, he's not funny. He dresses shitty. Like, I don't like the way, and they even had to ask him, has she ever said to you, to your face, that she doesn't think that you're funny? And he's like, well, yeah, and we laugh about it. And Tyler's like, but you didn't tell me that. You were upset about that. I don't know.
Yeah, Annette agrees with you that she's made no growth at all. I actually think she's made a little bit of growth, because I do think that how she came, even though she still was on the defense, I do think that she has learned, like, wait, I can't actually pop off like this. Like, I'm going to sit down and have, like, as decent of a conversation as possible. So I do think that there's a teeny little bit of growth that's happened with her. But I definitely think she needs a lot of therapy. Like, there's something deep-rooted that happened in her childhood. I've said this every podcast. So, like, she's hurt. She's deeply hurt. And she's kind of like, a rabid dog, or a dog that's been, like, abused. Like, she's always ready to attack, and I know it doesn't excuse, but it can allow us just to have a little bit of empathy for her in her situation, but also have some empathy for the people that have to deal with her. And so I can understand people not thinking that it's the right environment for her. I don't think it's the right environment for her at all. So, but hopefully, though, she'll see herself after. We both said this before, and she'll get the help that she needs. And
that's the only thing I can hope, is that she'll watch back or see clips and realize she really needs some deep-rooted help.
Now that says Chloe and Toby, or Chloe, are the ones being strategic, and it's so subtle that a lot of people we see it.
I see it.
You want that money so bad.
And they're probably going to win at this point.
I think that they're going to win because they have the strongest couple. They're not going to choose a black couple for the win.
No. If Kaz and Tyler get past this vote, I'd be very surprised tonight.
I think they'll get past this vote. I think that it will be Aaron and Mary. They'll
go. They have done everything. I feel like the producers have, if you see some of the polls that people have been posting from the app, and just even some of the articles that they put out, that the Love Island has put out, just the way that they word things, they put Kaz in just like this negative light compared to everybody else.
I still don't see what, like, they're talking about. Like, I can understand that it was a weird kind of interaction with her and Teddy. So, but I've never seen her act like that ever before. You know what I mean? So, like, the fact that people are upset with her from before that, like, I was just like, I've never seen her be anything but quite respectful and listening and just stating her opinions and telling people how she's felt hurt in a very respectful manner. I don't think has she raised her voice even? This was probably the most she's raised her voice this season, I would say.
That's how I feel. I don't even feel like when Tyler came at her with bullshit, pure bullshit, she ever raised her voice and she stated her thing, because everybody's like, oh my God, how could she? Like, we would have cursed, we would have yelled, all the amount of stuff that we would have said if he came at us like this. I do not.
Do you have a YouTube channel?
I don't. Should I?
Tamika Rants?
I don't know what I would talk about. I'm not good with, because I will rant for like
I think that's a trait of a Taurus, because I know another girl from Rob's podcast. She's a Taurus as well, and she will go on rants, and her name is Mari Talks Too Much. It's like, that's her name, because she's like, she'll just talk and talk and talk and talk.
I can have these conversations because I do it on Twitter before I go.
Yeah, so you're just already ready. Okay, with Faye, the message gets lost in delivery. Absolutely. The facade and the energy she puts out makes it hard for people to have an open, truthful conversation with her. Absolutely, which is what she claims she wants, but can't handle it. Yes, I mean, it's very juvenile. I was kind of like this when I was in high school. I always clapped back, and like people were afraid of me and stuff like that because like they're afraid of what I was going to say or what I was going to think. And I remember like my friend when we were like 28, like we were old, and she was like afraid to tell me something because she was afraid I was going to get mad. I'm like, it's been 10 years, like 12 years. I really don't respond that way anymore. If you don't want to do something, you can tell me. I'm not going to get mad. I'm going to get more mad if you don't tell me.
Right.
So anyways, I do understand with the delivery. I've definitely learned that, but like 20 years ago. So she just needs to learn that. And that'll be with like therapy and learning more about herself and how she's perceived. If she watches back the show, she'll get a learning. She'll get a big lesson.
Unless she blames it on editing.
She's not going to blame it on editing. No, she knows that she was a pile of garbage too.
Yeah.
Cancers are apparently Faye, Aaron, and Mary. Aaron and Mary, so that's probably why they're so offended. Because cancers definitely take things personally.
Mm-hmm.
But no, Faye, she's on the cusp. But she's the 21st of June, which is still in Gemini. It's not Cancer until the 22nd. And I think that's for all years. I don't think there's ever a time where the 22nd or the 21st is Cancer.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I could look up what year Faye was born and see if she's Cancer.
1995.
95? Oh my God. So speaking of 95, so I'll tell you guys the story. It's a completely separate story, but it's the same friend that like was always afraid to like tell me the truth about something because they didn't want me to get mad. Mm-hmm. So when I was 16, she was 16. She had my best friend at the time. She had a baby, and I was like the Lamaze coach. Like when I was in ballet class, and I got called to the principal office. I was her. I took all the lessons and the classes with her, like being pregnant, the whole way through. And I remember taking like my bus ticket, and I took the bus to the hospital to go help my best friend when I was a teenager have this baby. And that baby was born it's either 95 or 96. How old am I? 1996, this baby was born. So when I see Faye like that, she is a year older than my goddaughter. It's just like, wow. Wow. Like, actually be my child.
Yeah, my goddaughter was born 98. My first goddaughter, my niece, is born 95. So she's born September of 95. But
yes, my goddaughter is born October of 96.
No, Aaron, it says is March 7th.
Oh, so Pisces.
Still kind of, yeah.
Still watery. Still
moody. Yeah.
With him and I feel though as though he should have been able to get along better with Teddy and Kaz and Liberty because they're all either water or earth signs. So I find it very.
No, this is why I'm saying that he was playing a game because him and Kaz do get along. She said we talk all the time, but when we talk, you don't talk about Mary. You talk about other shit with me, and I'm like, yeah, they get along. I don't understand. It felt like it came out of nowhere, and maybe it's because of that. Because they get along, he felt like they shouldn't vote for him. I want to know who these people thought they should have voted for themselves. I just don't get it.
So Liz is a Cancer, but gave up trying to understand Faye because she's not a Cancer. She's a Gemini. You guys don't understand each other at all. No. At all. You guys are not speaking the same language at all. When's your birthday, Liz? Both my parents are Cancers, and my rising is Cancer. It's rising. So I'm learning to understand you guys. No. Just kidding. Okay, so let's just get through the rest of this episode. I definitely think we've talked through it. That like I have compassion for Faye, and you have none. But I appreciate your perspective absolutely. So, Faye was crying. She was upset. Then we see the conversation with Aaron and Mary that we've talked about already. then in the morning, they all go to sleep, and in the morning, with the girls' chat, Liberty is explaining how she was feeling, where she was coming from. Also, we see Teddy in the bed explaining to Tyler and Jake how he feels. And I didn't know Aaron was still there, but he says that he wants to apologize to Faye, so he tells this to Tyler.
Can we mention how bad it had to be for Kaz and Tyler to sleep in the doghouse?
Yeah, I was wondering why they didn't sleep in the room.
That's how she must have been livid with Aaron. And I don't blame her. I would not have wanted to sleep in that room. That's what I'm saying. I can see from Kaz's perspective that I probably would more than likely be not friends with a lot of people in there.
I think she will come around with all the OGs.
Yeah.
But I don't know if Aaron's too new for her to care about building friendship with it starting off that way.
Yeah.
Aaron does apologize to Kaz, which I was happy about. She accepted it, but I don't think she cares for him at all. She was just okay.
No, you could tell she was done with him after that. Yeah.
So they get a text. It's going to be the Love Island talent show. Okay, so what did you think? The confessionals were crazy because I was like, everybody was terrible. Okay, there was not one person that was good at this talent show. We first has Liberty and Jake, and she was they're dancing to Grease. I thought she looked cute, and if I liked Jake, I could maybe thought that they were cute, but I don't like Jake's. That I think that it pulled me out of enjoying their little dance and sing along. But they're both tone deaf, and so I'm always like, I can't hear you because you guys sound terrible. Did you like them?
It was cute. I was kind of tuned out on most of it, so I read online that they were off key. I wasn't really listening to them, so I was not listening to them at all. I just wasn't.
Well, it was terrible. Next is Chloe, and she said that she's like a super genius. She's so smart. Even though people don't think that she's smart, so she was doing math problems, very simple math problems, and she got part of it wrong. And I was like, I won't say anything, Chloe, but you didn't put the right answer there, but that's okay. I loved her square root of fuck off. I thought that was funny. That was the best part of Chloe's little math performance. What do you think of Teddy B's rap?
I didn't appreciate it.
It was bad.
It was bad. And
he
was kind of being passive aggressive, which he seems to do very well to Kaz and Tyler. I wasn't into it.
I wasn't into it either. It wasn't good. It didn't rhyme, and they couldn't catch a beat. So it was just I'm not great with hearing anybody do raps unless they're good. Bad raps, I can't handle it. On Big Brother, there's this one girl, and she just keeps on doing raps whenever she's a nominated, and I'm just like, can you just stop the raps? I can't take it. How would you find Mary's tap dancing?
She tap danced? I missed that. I told you I wasn't paying any attention to this. Totally. That's terrible. I saw Millie playing the piano.
Can someone tell Dan what a zodiac sign is? We haven't gotten to Millie yet.
So I totally missed that one then.
So she was tap dancing. She wasn't good at all. She was basically doing a tap that I learned when I was 4. It was just shuffle and flap.
A flap. I took tap too.
Yeah, flap at the same time. A little flap. Flap, step, shuffle. Not funny. Hard stuff.
No.
At all. And she didn't even do it well, she was saying though, she's hopefully he doesn't get the ick seeing her tap dance, and he thought that she looked really hot. I didn't think she was good, but I thought she was cute. Toby and Aaron played. Did you see them play the soccer?
No. Oh my God. What was I must not have paid any attention to all of that stuff.
So they basically were doing tricks with the soccer ball, but then they kept on going into the water. So Chloe was like, yeah, it'll be okay, but kept on going into the water. But it could have been a good one. But Aaron and Toby did that together. Millie played piano, so you saw Millie. Yes?
Yes, I saw that. She was very off.
I know that I went to an art school, so like I can't expect people to have had as much like artistic experience as I have. But like literally she was playing a 5-year-old piano song. It was, and then who was it? Was it Jake being like, "Oh man, it was so beautiful." So beautiful. And I'm like, really? That was like as difficult as Twinkle Twinkle Little Stars on the piano. Like it was not hard at all. Maybe hard to remember. Maybe she doesn't like remember the song that well. And so if she was practicing, like trying to remember it,
Yeah.
with that. But like it was she should have just done Twinkle Twinkle Little Star with a couple chords. And I think that I would have been more impressed. But this one was like, it was so bad. Sorry, Millie.
Yeah.
Getting teary-eyed, like I can't. Teary-eyed. Oh boy. And then Tyler draws Kaz, which it wasn't actually a bad drawing, but it was just like with a pencil and like you couldn't really see it. It was just like an outline of him drawing her like his French girls, like Titanic. It could have been better, but you couldn't really see it. Whatever. And then Faye tells it like it is. She has a roast, which was terrible. But people seem to just be like letting her have it. Like I think, who was it, Millie? No, Chloe or Millie, one of the two, saying like, like Faye's the only person that can get away with doing something like that or something. And then Liam sings Tom Jones and is terrible. Like there was another person that was off key.
Him I saw. He was so off key. I was like, and they're all just like eating it up, and I'm like, this is bad, guys. This is not good.
Are you okay?
Yeah, like I was like, he's really not singing well.
And Jake is like, oh, he smashed it. It's very bad. So they do seem to get on with like, all the drama that was happening throughout the day. They're taking group pictures. And that's pretty much the end of the episode. We're going to be voting for our favorite couple. All right, Dan wants to know if we can tell him what his zodiac sign is. So your astrological sign. So there's 12 signs, and every birthday falls within one of these 12 signs, and that is the zodiac like signs. And so some traits tend to be found in each and every sign, if that makes sense. All right, let's catch up on these comments. I attract so many Geminis, but it can be tricky when someone's. I mean, as a Cancer, I would not be dealing with Geminis. Geminis and Cancer. That's rough. Hi, Victoria. I don't know. It's okay to have an opinion. Faye needs to get over it. Her behavior was abusive. Okay, I can say that. I can see that. It's okay for Kaz and Tyler to not think Fetty needs to be together. So Aaron and Mary said during the vote discussion that they felt that they were at least two people less compatible than them. Was just shaking my head in disbelief. I mean, they are compatible considering they just got together, but I wouldn't say more than most of the people in the villa. Aaron did not have the same energy for Faye. Her reasoning was fine, but not Kaz. Maybe because Faye actually came out and said it, and Kaz didn't tell them. I don't know.
But they were told not to discuss the vote. That's the other part that I don't.
Are they allowed after?
I don't know, because the text literally said, "Do not discuss the vote."
Ms. Love, can you explain this, or did you maybe see this, Tamika? So did we see how the app describing situations yesterday, they made Kaz sound aggressive and Faye sound sympathetic? No.
Yeah. That was what I was referring to.
Gotcha. I saw that in even news articles. At this point, is anyone surprised by the passive aggressive towards minority ethnics? No, I'm not surprised, to be honest. In the UK, everyone hates Liberty and Jake. They might be voted out tonight. I don't think they'll be voted out tonight. the only reason her voice was loud was because Aaron was far away from her. She had to raise her. Oh yeah, that point when like he decides to like clap. Like, what are you saying? Like, why did you? Why like you're saying this? Why couldn't you say when I was here? And she's just like, I was saying it when you were here, and now you're asking me to say it while you're not here. I was saying the exact same thing. So yeah, I do agree with you, Netta. I didn't feel like that response of hers was aggressive at all. Like, it's annoying. Is that why you defend Faye? Because when I was a teenager, like people used to be scared of me. Maybe. I'll be happy for Kyler and Gibberty to leave after parental visits. Even Kyler, the girls will do great on the outside either way.
See, I'm kind of with her because I don't know if I would want either one of those couples still left in there by themselves with those other couples. But that's just my opinion.
Fine. They'll be fine. Tyler said that Teddy said that if it was on the outside, it would be block and delete after Faye argument.
So this was one of them.
Oh, you're second day Cancer. Okay, so you are close to Gemini. Sorry, can you tell me what it is, or is it?
Okay.
I can't read it.
No, it says, was Kaz and Tyler's vote strategic? And 54% said no, that's ludicrous. 45.6% yes said yes, it was calculated. And then this was the one, is Kaz and Aaron comes to blows. And then it's Faye gets emotional after a chat with Millie and Liam.
It's true. That's painted very differently. Yeah, that's not good. So you're an early Cancer, so you might have each zodiac sign has different decans or decans. So you're in the beginning. So that means you're a true Cancer. You're a Cancer. But if you were like in between 11 and 20 degrees Cancer, then you would be a Cancer Scorpio. And then if you're in the end of Cancer, you'd be a Cancer with Pisces kind of mixed together. I had most of the talent show on mute. It was so cringe. It was very cringe, Liz. Chloe's talent show was hilarious. Chloe, I thought was the best, even though she just did some math problems. Talent show gave me a second-hand embarrassment. Yeah, it was not good. Not good. Side note, have y'all heard about or seen the interview with Charlie in Atlanta where Charlie said he talked to Cash and basically said he's still here for her as a friendship or whatever on the card?
That's the one I sent you. That snippet, but I didn't watch the entire interview because I'm like really not interested in any of those couples, but I laughed so hard watching that snippet.
I didn't watch the snippet yet because I just don't want to see Charlie. I'm not a fan, and I just don't want to hear what he has to say. Him saying that, anyways, I don't know. I don't care.
Anyway, she apparently felt blindsided because she was like, oh, this was news to her. Oh, man, hilarious.
The best talent was Kaz posing, looking beautiful. Yeah, she did look good. Wait, what was Kaz's talent?
Yeah, she was posing, looking beautiful. Yeah.
I thought you were being funny, but I guess it actually was what she did. Yeah. Oh, Teddy's today's date, the boys, Teddy and Jake, are going to speak on how great their relationships are going. At this point, they're just trying to sell themselves to the public. Absolutely. They are. I think it's also the babies from what I think I saw Murad tweet. So I'm going to see that. It's going to be fun. Hi, everyone. Yeah, Chloe carried that whole segment, the talent show and the narration. I'm team Chloe. I'm sorry, guys. I like Chloe. Another air sign. Chantel should be a teacher. Aw. I mean, hopefully that's good. But I don't have the patience, though, to be honest. Really, Charlie wants to be on Cash's good side so he could be invited on the tour and all. Yeah, apparently he's going to be in New York with them. It's like he wasn't really invited. He was just there. So I hope he doesn't actually show up. Do you think he's going to show up in New York on Friday? Yes, you do. Okay.
I don't think he was invited, but I don't think she had a choice not to allow him to come. I don't know. It sounds like they had a private conversation. I think she's keeping him at arm's length. It sounded like based on the conversation that they had when they were around the other guys. So I don't know.
All right, Dan asks, who do we want to see on the challenge this season from Love Island UK? I'm like, I don't even know. Maybe Toby would get messy in there because like the girls would like him. Like he'd just have like girls all over him, and there'd be fights because they drink a lot more than they drink on Love Island. So people would be popping off, and there'd be fights. Like I think Toby would make a very good addition to the challenge. None of the women, I don't see any of them to be very. Maybe Kaz, because she's probably the most athletic out of all the women on this season. I know you don't watch anymore, but do you have any thoughts?
Yeah, everybody, all the women are very prissy, except for Kaz.
Yeah,
I think he's a little more sporty. Yeah, Kaz and Toby, I think would probably be my choices, unless maybe an Aaron, but I don't know if it interrupt his footballing. Because even Tyler is more of a gent than I think, maybe Teddy, but he's a nice guy, so I don't know how that will work in his favor or not.
I'd watch any of them on there. Like if they're gonna bring in more international people, anybody that I've seen on a show, I'm fine with them joining the challenge. It's when I just like have absolutely no idea who they are. I'm just kind of like, I don't want it. All right, Netha says this was possibly the worst talent show I've ever seen. I like Jake and Liberties, and that's about it. Chloe's was a bit funny. Teddy and Faye being shady, but if it had been the other way around, they would have been raging. At least Faye would, probably. It's true.
Yeah, I didn't like either of those.
I'd say Priya because she's good at endurance.
Is she? I don't know.
I don't know.
She's
Priya.
annoying. I think they would kick her off. They wouldn't want to keep hearing her mouth.
I don't know if she would get along with people in the challenge.
No.
But this is all we have for you today. A nice, friendly argument, debate, discussion, rant, raves on a Wednesday afternoon. I much appreciate everybody's opinion and perspective because it does help me grow even more. So thank you, Tamika, for your words of wisdom, and everybody here in the chat for their perspectives and words of wisdoms as well. Tamika, people were asking for your YouTube channel, which you do not have right now, but where can people find you if they were looking for your opinions?
Right now, you can find me on Entertainment in Color on all social media platforms. Can always chat me on either in messages, Instagram, or Twitter. I'm pretty much, connected to both most of the time. So if you need me, you can catch me there. We're still building the platform, so tell your friends, tell your family to follow me. Content is going to keep coming, rolling it out.
Amazing. Dan, no, we do not want to know who gets eliminated. We're going to walk Persephone says, bye, everyone. May you all have plentiful cheese boards minus the brie.
I like the brie.
Brie with some apples or some cranberries. Yeah. I like really old cheddar. Like, I know that's very boring, but like I like with whole hard cheeses is what I prefer. Yeah. They're kind of like sour. That's what I like. Unless they're nut cheeses, and I'll have any of them a lot in plentiful. So it's that time again to subscribe to Reality Realness with 3 S's, building a community of people that will sit and listen to Tamika and I rant for an hour and 22 minutes. Thank you so much for being here, everybody. We do appreciate each and every one of you, especially those who are in the chat with us live. But if you do manage to come and visit us in the rerun, please like this video, leave a comment, let us know who you would like to see voted out tonight, who you think will be voted out tonight, and whether or not you think that who's going to win the show. Who do I think that Toby and Chloe are going to win the show? Do you think it's going to be them, or do you think that Millie and Liam will take it? Oh, and one thing I didn't mention with all of our talkings, I don't like how he defends. He actually, the way that he responds to me actually pisses me off. So I was surprised though that Faye didn't get more pissed off with Liam, because there's something about his tone that actually is quite irritating. But that just could be me. Who knows? Who knows?
We'll have to discuss that more, because I need to know what you mean. But
okay, we have I'm sure. Yeah. We'll talk about it later. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow at 3.
Yeah.
Bye.